Bueno, clase, vamos a hablar sobre demostrativos. That's how you say demonstratives in Spanish. This word here is actually an English word, and we use it to demonstrate where things are. So demonstrative, to demonstrate, and that's the Spanish word. So go ahead and write that down, and these can be used as adjectives or pronouns. Go ahead and leave space here because as long as I don't forget, at the end of the video I'm going to show you how to take a demonstrative adjective and turn it into a pronoun so that you know for future reference. Although what we are mostly focused on are the adjectives in this unit. Alright, so you guys, luckily, already know a lot of demonstratives. You know how to say this and these and that and those, and you guys know that they are these words here. But what you don't know is how to say or refer to something that's far away from both the listener and the speaker, and those are these words here. So I need you guys to carefully, nicely, neatly, in the same way that I have it, copy down this chart as I explain it to you. Okay, so you guys already know this, these, that, those. And now you guys are learning how to say that over there and those over there. And you guys understand that there's a masculine form and a feminine form and plural versions of each. Some other things that might be new to you or you might know from before is that the word cerca means near. This is an important word. You need to consider it as important as vocab because it will help you figure out which one of these demonstratives you want in a sentence. If it has cerca in the sentence, you're going to want one of these words here. If you have un poco lejos, which means a little far, lejos means far, un poco means little, then you know that you're going to want ese, esa, esos, or esas. And if something's muy lejos or very far away, you guys are going to want one of these four here. So you guys really need to know cerca, un poco lejos, and muy lejos, and which ones or which part of the chart they refer to. Okay, some other things that can help you find answers are if these words here are in your sentence or not. And you guys know if I'm going too quickly, you can always press pause. If these words are in your sentences, it's also going to help you figure out which demonstrative you want. This and these are often used with aquí or acá because you guys might know they mean here. That and those are often used with allí or ahí because they mean there. And that and those over there can be used with allá because that's used to point out something that is further over there. So, if I have aquí or acá, I know that I want to use this and these, which are the ones that have T's. If I have allí or ahí in my sentence, I know that I want to use that or those, which don't have T's. And if I have allá in my sentence, I'm saying that something is far away from both the listener and the speaker, so I need to use aquel, aquella, aquellos, or aquellas. If all of this information doesn't quite make sense, don't worry. You guys know that we'll practice it in class, we'll talk about it in class, and try to make sure that you understand everything. Alright, another thing that we need to talk about are the neuter forms or the neutral forms. And that might sound crazy, but you guys know that in other languages almost everything has a gender. So what happens if you don't know what the gender is? For example, if you're referring to a fact or a situation, facts and situations don't have gender. Or if you're presenting or referring to an unknown object, if you don't know it's a book, you can't know that it's masculine. If you don't know that it's a table, you can't know that it's feminine. If you're saying, what is that over there? You don't know the gender. So what are the neutral or neutered forms of these demonstratives? Well, it might not make sense exactly, but to say this without a gender, it's esto. And that without a gender is eso. And that over there is aquello. So you guys are going to have to try really hard to remember that the neuter forms end in O, and that the masculine forms actually don't. If you look, the masculine forms end in E's, or in this case, an L. So this time, if it ends in an O, it's actually neutered. And if it ends in these, it's actually masculine. Let's write down some example sentences with these neutered demonstratives. If I said, hoy voy al cine y me gusta eso, I'm saying, today I'm going to the movies and I like that. The fact that I'm going to the movies, that can't have a gender, so I'm going to use the neuter form. If I asked you, ¿qué es eso? I'm asking you, what is that? If I don't know what that is, I can't know the gender of it, so I have to use the neutered form. All right, one last thing I did not forget. We need to talk about what this box up here has to say. So you guys now know that these are your demonstrative adjectives, but what if instead you want a demonstrative pronoun? Don't forget that pronouns take the place of nouns. So if instead of me wanting to say, I am reading this book, and I want to say, I'm reading this one, I need the pronoun because I'm taking out book and replacing it with this one. So how do I do that? Go ahead and write this down in your notes right here. The demonstrative pronouns have an accent on the first E. So the demonstrative pronouns have an accent on the first E. Write that in your notes. All right, this part's a little bit more advanced, so if you don't get this far in your comprehension right now, that's okay. I'm just showing you that you know for future reference. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. What I'm about to do next, I do not want you to put in your notes. I repeat, I do not want you to put in your notes. I'm just going to show you what this looks like. If instead of saying this, I want to say this one, I have to put that accent on the first E. If I want to say, instead of that, I want to say that one, accent on the first E. If I want to say that one over there, instead of just that book over there, accent on the first E. So, by putting an accent on the first E, I'm changing them from demonstrative adjectives to demonstrative pronouns. So instead of saying this book, I'm saying this one. Instead of saying those books, I'm saying those. And now they're pronouns. If you guys have questions, I understand. We'll talk about it in class. Thank you for taking your demonstrative notes.